Baby, you're the best thing move. Baby, you're the best thing smoke. Baby, you're the best thing that ever happened to me. Baby, you're my good thing now. You gon' be my good thing forever. Baby, you're the best thing that ever happened to me. You are.
Hey y'all, welcome to Pretty Girl Loves Trap content. This is my recap / review of Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, episode 6, Level Up. So the episode opens up with Raquel. She is in the projects, very nice looking building, no graffiti or anything. And she's trying to get to the 8th floor, by pressing the elevator button. So an elderly lady coming out the stairwell tells her like, yeah, that's not working. It hasn't been working for 40 years. And Raquel was like, I keep forgetting. I've been here 5 times this week already. I'm like, Rock, like you've been here 5 times this week. What? Come on, girl. Get it together. So she proceeds to go upstairs and walk the 8 flights. And if you don't know nothing about city living, that is not the business. I used to live on a 7th floor. Granted, my building was well maintained. It wasn't in the projects. It was just a high rise. But it went to the blue moon, the elevator will stop working. And we would have to, not really have to take the stairs, but one of them will not be working. The other would. So with just one elevator for like 20 something floors, sometimes it would take a long time for the actual elevator to come down to your floor. So you would just take the stairs up and down because it probably is faster. But I do think they are putting this in for a reason. Power is very strategic. I know that not one word, one scene, one action is in vain. And this will come up in the future. So I was pondering, why are they putting this in there? I think they're putting this old lady in there because I feel like she will come back eventually into play some type of way. She is very charismatic. And I feel like that with Rock having the stash house in a building with the elevator that's not working, that is going to cause an issue because that really means that the stairwell is the only way to go in and out. And that's not really logistically sound, I feel like possibly is going to cause an issue if the ops or the cops try to bust up in there, or if they're trying to escape. It's going to be difficult. So I feel like Rock needs to take note, and I'm pretty sure something will happen in regards to this specific situation. But she's going upstairs. Bookman, the super, he's all frantic and he's like, hey, inspector's here. I'm going to lose my job. So she sees the inspector and he's looking at the hole in the kitchen. And he was like, you must be new around here, lady. You're not supposed to be making any changes whatsoever to this building. Like, this is public housing. You can't not nail a nail on the wall without my permission or the permission of the city. And, she was, turning on her feminine wiles, like, well, I'm sorry. I'm just a single mother trying to, support my son. Is there anything I can do? And so, of course, he peeps game. He was like, all right. So he was like, well, meet me here at 8:00 alone. So, yeah, you know what that means. It's going to go down some type of way. So we next see Kanan and Famous. They're posting flyers of the showcase. And Kanan is kind of peeping at these cars going to this gas station by the expressway. So he looks like his wheels is turning. So we're going to have to see what's going on with that. So next we see his daddy, his pappy, Detective Omar Epps. He rolls up on his doctor. Now, I'm not quite sure if it's her doctor's office or whatever. It seems a little, I don't know. It's a parking lot. But he kind of rolls up on her. She looks all startled like, ooh, black man, I'm not safe around you unless I'm in my office. Like, what are you doing? She was giving off real Karen vibes, y'all. And so he was asking her, hey, if I have a son, would this, possibly help, me getting, a donor? Could he be a match? And she was like, yeah, about 50%. But if he's underage, he would need to have consent. So, he was like, okay. And she was like, wow, what's going on? And he was like, don't worry about it. And she going to tell him, you don't look very well. I'm like, what doctor tells a patient that. That's really discouraging. Like, dude, you just told me. Not dude, but you know what I mean. You just told me, lady, like, I'm dying. Of course, I'm not going to be looking well. Like, what the hell? So Lulu and Jessica, they're at the venue, just overseeing, the situation with the showcase. It's everybody setting up and the lighting guy and all these people saying, hey, we was told we need to come to you to get these invoices paid, bruh. Like, these items are not getting off the truck without you paying that bread. And he proceeds to pay them. And, his girl Jessica is hyping him up like, baby, this is all you. You running things. So she's all turned on and whatnot. And so Rock comes in and she was like, cool, you got a little spot. We about to go set up shop. And he was like, no, this is a clean situation here. Okay. I don't want no problems. We not about to be Murder Inc. We're having the feds up in here when our record company blows up. We don't want them problems. But Rock, she's seeing it as another business opportunity. And, Lulu, he's trying to find a way out, some legit money. And I'm surprised that Raquel is not down with this. Like, she's always talking about we, guided by vision, not sight, and all this deep stuff. And, saying, things as if she wanted to expand and, figure out some other avenues. But she's not open to this. I don't understand why. But you could tell Lulu is not feeling his sister right now. And she was pretty much saying, like, this is our money. And I'm like, oh, excuse me, lady. Like, what you mean our money? Like, Lulu earns his dough very much well. Like, what are you talking about, Rock? So since Detective Howard and whatnot took the day off from work to see about, curing his situation, we see, his partner. I'm sorry, y'all, I can't think of her name. But, she's in the office and her superior was like, your dad told me to look out for you. Your partner, he took the day off. You could push these papers or, figure something out. But I don't think it's smart for you to, go on the streets and, do some surveillance. She was like, no, I got it. I'm good. I'll be all right. And he was like, don't F it up. Which she, very much well can do so. So next we see Lulu. He pops up at the shop, the little tailor shop that Unique, is frequenting. I mean, that's probably his little front or whatever. And he approaches Unique like, hey, y'all, I have a favor. Not like that, y'all. But he was like, hey, I got this showcase tonight. Is it okay, if we go ahead and, not have no drama up in this dancery? I'm just saying, like, it's a clean situation. And, Unique is like, what do I owe you? Like, you ain't done nothing for me. And Lulu was like, you may need a favor one day. And you could tell Lulu is desperate because he had a whole situation a few episodes ago explaining favors to Jukebox. You know what I'm saying? How he's just big on not owing nobody. So he's kind of going back on his word and doubling down, but he feels that this is very necessary. So we're seeing him kind of bend his rules a little bit, which is interesting. So when Lulu leaves, the situation, we see old Scrappy coming out from the back, and Unique was like, yeah, Rock, we got something coming for her. You know what I'm saying? So next, we see Marvin. He pulls up in his nice little blue Benz. I love those old school cars, y'all. Like those old school luxury Benzes and BMWs. I call them paid in full cars, y'all. Those, I love them. So he comes up to a little playground with his little abandoned van. So he has some dudes sitting there. And he was like, hey, nobody showed up. He was like, nah. So he looks frustrated. I'm thinking that this is the van that was used to steal his stuff. I think so. I'm not quite sure. Some people was thinking it was probably, waiting for a re-up, but I don't think re-ups, nah, it's too sophisticated, you know what I'm saying, of a process for, this to be a situation where it was a re-up that wasn't done. So I really feel like Marvin was trying to see who actually pulled up, or, come to the van. Because, he does know it's Unique's crew. So I don't know. This definitely, the scene will come into play, I feel, in the future. So we see in Rock, she's in the kitchen and she's actually cutting Kanan's hair. I love this scene, y'all. It's so funny to me because I just cut my nephew's hair for the first time the other week. It was a little experiment. I've always wanted to learn how to barber for some reason. As I experimented, I give myself a good C plus, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was a good first time, but I just love it because it shows the bond between Rock and her son, her lining him up, and she's interrogating him at the same time. She was like, why do you didn't tell me that you got locked up? Well, not locked up, y'all, but you know what I'm saying, that you got scooped up by the police. And he was like, how did you know? She was like, Scrap told me. He was like, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't nothing. It wasn't too deep. And, she was like, I can't keep up with your secrets, boy. Like, you got so much going on. He got bloody shirts hiding in places. Like, Kanan's a whole thug in here in these streets, y'all. So, of course, we discover that she finds out that, Symphony, picked him up, and Kanan was really, I commend him. He was sticking up for the whole situation. He was like, I called Symphony. Please don't be mad at him. Like, it's all on me. And of course, Rock, she a little stubborn, so she's not trying to hear that right now. So we see Jukebox. She's at home on a couch watching TV, a little movie. I believe it was Die Hard. And, she, in her little feelings, she's having a little Brandy moment, sitting up in my room, packing, think about you. Excuse me, my non-singing, y'all. But yeah, you could tell her she is still feeling a way about the situation that happens at Nicole's house. But she hear a little knock at the door. She looked. And it is Nicole, y'all. Nicole done came to the hood to see her boo, y'all. That was cute and commendable. And I knew, what I'm saying? Like, she's really feeling Jukebox, because going from borough to borough like that, like, I believe she lives in the Upper East Side or whatever, Manhattan, and Juke lives in Queens. Like, that is a trek, y'all. I'm just saying. So that's at least, I would say, between 1 to 2 hour commute, depending on the day and the situation. So, they're hugging and whatnot, embracing each other. And so we cut to Rock's house, and we're having a sibling family meeting, as always. And, they're talking about how Dean cut him off. Like, hey, he's been a connect for 5 years, and he just cut him off, cut us all off without a warning. And that made me think that Rock did not tell Lulu and Marvin about her little side deal with Dean's homeboy, because, they were saying, hey, out of nowhere, what's going on? But Rock knows. Well, actually, I take that back. She doesn't know at this point, because she probably doesn't know that Dean found out about his homeboy, but she should have figured that out. Like, Dean is not the type of dude that, he doesn't go without not knowing ish. Like, he has eyes and ears everywhere. So that was a foul on her play. So, of course, they're out of product again, almost. So she tells Lulu, hey, go uptown. She tells Marvin, go to the Bronx. We got to gather our little resources together. And she is stressed. And I'm like, Lulu is providing you an option, a possible way out. Like, that can relieve your stress. Like, Rock, what is going on? Like, why you don't want to? Some people get addicted to the life, y'all understand. But she seems real stressed and uptight. Like, she gonna need some high blood pressure pills soon if she don't calm the F down. So Rock, she storms off, in her cut arms. Like, she got them Tina Turner arms. Like, dang, Rock, you be lifting weights or whatever. Like, she is definitely fit. Go, girl. So Marvin says to Lulu, like, F you and your showcase. And Lulu was like, oh, really? Well, your daughter's performing at that showcase. And, he gives him a little folded flyer. He's looking all dumb like, oh, you didn't know. And don't get me wrong, y'all. Marvin is petty. Marvin's a lot of things, y'all. But he is like my favorite character at this point. Like, I feel like I'm toxic or something, because, like, why do I love Marvin so much? Like, he reminds me of a lot of different people, y'all. Like, I love Marvin. So we cut to Jukebox and Nicole, and they're just, cuddling or whatever. And Jukebox was like, hey, Nicole, are you coming to my little showcase tonight? And so she was like, yeah, I've been lying to my parents for the last week and a half about going to my friend's party. Of course, I'm going to see you sing, boo. Like, I got you. I'm going to be there. So Marvin, he's leaving Rock's house, and Kanan catches him, walking outside. He was like, hey, like, put me on. Like, I want to be down. You know what I'm saying? And Marvin was like, nah, you too risky. Like, I'm good, bro. Like, your mama will kill us. Okay. But Kanan, he was like, no, I got a plan. Like, see this, there's an expressway, right? And, you know what I'm saying? We see that's the only reason, white people be going to this little gas station. So we can sell our drugs there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a good in and out situation. And so, you can realize that what Symphony is teaching Rock and Kanan is, valuable to their drug business. It's allowing them to see things in a different way. So when Symphony gave him, saying some, lectures or talks about the expressway and how white people, that's the only way they will go to a specific gas station, because this bridge is the only way that they will go to the hood or leave the hood, actually. So, it's definitely interesting. And I wonder how they was going to come into play, because, in Power Book 2, they use novels to kind of teach us, about certain things in the actual episode. So, Courtney Kemp or whoever's in charge of Power Book 3 or just Power in general, they are very good with trying to give us nuggets and history at the same time, but not necessarily overcomplicating the actual episode itself. And I also caught when maybe like, I don't know what episode it was, when Rock and Symphony was on a date at his house. He was giving her all these lectures about high rises, and that kind of, has her wheels turning, which is why she decided to get a high rise, and she's able to look down on the poor people, because that was the point of the high rise, is for the people could be as further and higher up to than poor people. Sorry, y'all, it's late and I'm going out of town. So I've been packing and working, and I got a lot going on. So if I'm stumbling my words, I'm just trying to get this recording out. So I'm sorry. But yeah, you could just tell Symphony is becoming very valuable without his realizing it. But yeah, y'all, it's getting real interesting on how they're turning his lectures into criminal acts. So Rock is off to the bingo situation to see Dean. It's so comical that he's always at this bingo place with his grandma. It's so cute. It's hilarious. But, she's trying to see, hey, what's going on here? Why did you cut us off? And he was like, our business relationship has concluded. I guess she's not realizing, like, hey, he is on to her. So, he pretty much tells her, like, hey, my right-hand man, I realized what y'all had going on. And, he was like, I don't trust you, Rock. And he's making it seem like that he's cutting her off because simply he don't trust her. Because who's trusting anybody in the drug business? I mean, no, it's not the fact that you don't necessarily trust her. It's the fact that she kind of cut a side deal without you being in it. Of course, that rolls into trust too, but it ain't just about trust, because you shouldn't trust anybody in this business. And, of course, Rock, she's out of a connect at this point. Oh, and note, Dean pretty much told Rock that Unique is paying 20% more to keep her out of the business. He's taking up his supply and her supply. So Unique, he's thinking too now. I think she's been underestimating Unique because maybe he's a little younger than her. But yeah, he's thinking smart as well. And Rock, I feel like she does feel like she is smarter than everyone. She is smart, don't get me wrong, but she's underestimating a lot of people as well. And that can be her downfall. And Grandma wins bingo, y'all. Oh, that was cute little scene when he was like, yeah, give my grandma's her money. Even though like he got money to buy up the whole block. But it was so cute. Yeah, I think I'm going to be one of those bingo ladies when I get older. Anywho, so we see Kanan and Marvin. They took a little field trip, and Kanan's kind of showing him like, hey, here's the gas station. Let me show how the thing is going to work. We got a little drive-through situation. And Marvin's like, nah, I like the initiative, bro, but I can't F with you like that. And when I rewatched this scene, I saw the little gas sign for diesel. It was 61 cents, y'all. 61 cents. Now, I do remember gas was like $1.05 when I was in high school. But man, if gas was 61 cents, I would have been like driving everywhere, y'all. Those were the days. So we see Rock. She's going into the bodega where the stash house is located. And man, the wife, her face is effed up. It's getting progressively worse and worse. Every episode, we're seeing a new black eye. Her lip is busted. And Rock is really taking note, like, yo, this is a hot mess. So she asked the wife, like, hey, I need to be connected with your cousins. I heard, they connect. I need in. And she was like, my husband don't like my cousin. She was like, I'm not asking your husband. I'm asking you. Like, I don't need to go through him. We women, we good. So, Julia, the wife, she gives Rock a little pushback, but she was like, no, I need you to do this favor for me. And she was like, make it happen, girl. And when Rock left, she had like a little smile or gleam, like Julia, I'm saying, the wife. And she just really seems like inspired by Rock. And I just know they're going to kill that husband, y'all. And I can't wait. I want him to be tortured. Okay. Like he needs to have like the ultimate horrible, slow death. Because I am tired of that goddamn woman beater. All right. I'm over it. So we see the cop. She's patrolling. And, she sees Jukebox and Nicole, and the Jukebox is, posting flyers. It's so cute because this is before social media. Like, this is the way things used to travel, like word of mouth and just post advertisements. The record labels, they used to have street teams. They would just go out in teams and backpacks and just post flyers. Like, this is so nostalgic, y'all. But correct, I'm just trying to figure out, maybe somebody put in the comments, it seems like this is not the first interaction between the cop and the cop and Jukebox. Like, it seemed like maybe they edited some scenes or whatever, but it seems like this is, they're familiar with each other in a sense. So it's a little odd, but she rolls up on Jukebox, and, while she puts Nicole, on the bus. And she was like, hey, she really likes you. I can tell, blah, blah, blah. And Jukebox was like, I'm good. Like, you a cop. I don't got nothing to say to you. And she was, telling Jukebox, like, hey, she mentioned D-Wiz. And she said, hey, I can talk to you about other things as well. And, Jukebox is not hearing her. But I do feel like she saw the interaction between Nicole and Jukebox. So I do feel like she was kind of reaching out to Jukebox as possibly like a mentor or someone to get some advice from, because I feel like she kind of revealed and not revealed that she was a lesbian as well, because she was very intuitive in terms of the body language between Jukebox and Nicole. It wasn't just like a regular friendship type of situation. So she kind of peeped game and was like, oh, okay, Jukebox, she's a lesbian. So I think that they are going to connect on some level in the future. And she may end up being a good ally and maybe even a mentor to Jukebox, because we all know she eventually turns and becomes a cop as well. So Jukebox was like, yeah, whatever, cop, I gotta go. And, she proceeds to put a flyer on one of the cars on the street. So the cop kind of goes behind her and, takes the flyer. And of course, she reads it and sees a showcase. So of course, she's probably going to be showing up. But I just wish, of course, Jukebox is a kid still. She's smart as hell. So I feel like maybe she shouldn't have put it, there, because, it was room for the cop to know what's going on, even though it was innocent, quote unquote, showcase. But I just feel like maybe, that shouldn't have happened. But of course, they're going to make mistakes. Hell, Kanan's been making buku mistakes. So it's okay to, even for Jukebox to slip up a little bit. So we see Kanan and Rock, they at the house. They getting all cute and whatnot. Kanan, they getting all dressed up, Boys to Men inspired situation. Little cute outfit. And Rock, she got on her little skin tight bodycon dress. And, he was like, I need help tying this tie. And she was like, well, I don't know how to tie it. So apparently it looks like she wasn't struggling. Like, are you sure, Rock? Like, she seems like, she tied that tie pretty well. So while she's tying this tie, she asked him, hey, do you ever miss having a dad? He was like, well, I wouldn't, I don't miss anything that I never had. So I think that was confirmation of her, feeling like she made the right decision. by not revealing who his true dad is, because I do feel like she is feeling guilty about the whole lying situation. So, she was like, well, I'm going to meet you there. I got something to handle before I get there. Because, she got a little appointment with the inspector. So she shows up, with this all, skin tight dress. And he's looking like, oh, yeah, it's action time. And she throws some money at him like, hey, this is a cash transaction. He was like, nah, bruh. So they get into a little scuffle. He punches her, so she's on the ground and she's struggling, and he just starts growling and just look real aggressive, and he starts unbuckling his belt. And I'm like, oh no, he is about to rape her. Like, are you serious right now? And in the nick of time, she notices a hammer on the ground and she clocks him and right in the head, y'all. Like, it looked like fatal. And thank God, because I'm like, I can't handle no rape scene, y'all. Like, that would have been too much for me. I mean, it's probably realistic, but it was a lot, y'all. And so Marvin comes in eventually. I believe, she paged him or whatever. And she was, he looks like, he sees she's disheveled, Lord, blah, 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 disheveled. And he was like, are you all right? And she was like, make a meal out of this fool, okay? So Marvin, it's time to clock in. He got some work to do. So, y'all, it's time for the showcase, and they got Uptown Anthem playing by Naughty by Nature, y'all. Like, that's like my turn up song, for back in the day. And it just reminded me of Juice, and I hate always comparing certain elements to this show to Juice, but it just reminded me of the Omar Epps DJ competition that he had. And of course he's in this show as well, but it just reminded me so much of Juice, just hearing that song, y'all. Excuse me, I'm trying to rush because I'm trying to go to bed, y'all. So we see, Lulu pulling up with Famous and Jessica. They got the limousine treatment, whatever. They got, the red carpet and whatnot. Like, there's all, fancy smashy up in here. So we see the cop. She's doing a little stakeout in front of it. And we see Unique's homeboy and Scrappy there, staking out the situation. So, there's a lot going on, y'all. So backstage, Famous, Juke, Nicole, and Kanan, they are chopping it up. This is the first time everybody's meeting Nicole. Of course, Famous is the only one that doesn't know that, that's Jukebox girlfriend. So he flirting or whatever. And Jukebox is nervous as hell. Her stage fright is getting the best of her. And she is puking all up in the bathroom, y'all. And so Nicole was like, Kanan, you need to talk to her, talk her off the ledge. And Fame was like, yeah, you need to handle that because it's the most important night of my life. Like, she can't be messing it up. And you can tell Nicole and Jukebox is really close because she knows how close her and Kanan is. And she knew that Kanan is truly the only one that can get, Jukebox back on her ish. So, that was really cute of that little scene. They had a heartfelt situation. And, it worked. Jukebox came out there and, she was like, all right, I'm good now. So back at the projects, Marvin, genius behind, I'm being sarcastic, y'all. He done stuffed the inspector inside of the drywall. Like, he got insulation all up around him. His mouth is all tied up. He's still alive, y'all. And so he's sitting here having a therapy session with an old boy, which, it's quite healthy. I got a psychology, degree. So, I'm all for the talking out, y'all. So Marvin was like, Rock always making mistakes. So when I make a mistake, it's a problem. Like, I'm gonna show and prove everybody I'm worthy of being promoted. And so the inspector, he's groaning like all miserable and whatnot. And he was like, you gonna see. He said, well, you're not gonna see because you about to be dead. So he gets like a little drill or whatever and, shoots him with the drill in the head and proceeds to like put the drywall up. And I'm like, it's going to be stinking like in 2.5 days. Like, it's going to be gross. Like, I hope this is a temporary situation because y'all cannot have no dead body up in there. Now, mind you, I've never been around a dead body, decaying and whatnot, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be funky as hell, y'all. So Rock, she's ordering her little drink or whatever at the bar, and Symphony comes up, and she immediately just goes outside, and he was like, yo, hold up, what's the issue? So she's pissed because he didn't tell her about the whole police station situation. And I see both sides of it. Symphony, he's trying to win Kanan over. He was kind of caught in a bind. He's trying to gain his trust, but at the same time he ended up breaking Rock's trust, because at the end of the day he was the adult in the situation, and that's kind of a serious thing, getting scooped up by the police, as she said. So I get it. I do feel like they will get back together eventually, maybe next episode. But Symphony, he was definitely, pull that 8-pack out, and she gonna be all over him. I do feel like Rock does have some some issues with men. She has a lot going on. She's in a male dominated, organization that she is the head of. Her competition is a man. All of her contacts are men. You know what I'm saying? She's raising a man. She's been raising a man, raising Kanan, what I'm saying, by herself practically. So, she has a lot of trust issues, and, she needs to know that, hey, Symphony and her are on the same page. But I do feel like they can have a nice little conversation, and it can be all good. You know what I'm saying? They could be one little happy family. Well, not really happy family, because nothing happens to too good in power. But I don't feel like Symphony is a cop anymore. I honestly feel like his purpose is him just being just a good, innocent guy that is going to get caught up. And I feel like he's going to end up dying, due to the fact that he's a part of, or have an association with this organization. So I really feel like that is his fate eventually. Good people don't last on this show at all. Shit, hell, bad people don't last on this show. Meanwhile, some rowdy Brooklyn dudes causing some issues at the door, trying to get in with weapons and whatnot. And, Lulu was like, we're not having that here. Like, you need to pipe down. And so this main dude, I'm going to call him Rico Suave for some reason, because he clean. I ain't going to lie. He got a nice little purple little suit on with his gold, accessories and whatnot. And him and Rock was actually matching, which was cute. But, he was, not feeling Lulu at all. He's talking crap. Of course, there's always going to be a beef between the boroughs. It's always going to be that way for some reason. And so Rock kind of, comes up to the side, and he sees Rock, and he immediately changed his whole tone. He was like, all right, bro, it's cool. Nothing but peace and love. We good. And so Lulu peeps are like, dang, like my sister needed to pull up for me to get some respect around here. So I definitely know Lulu ego, was definitely bruised at that point in time. This is like probably the third time Rock done got on his damn nerves this episode. So I definitely see a rift in their relationship very soon. So, Jessica and Nicole, they're like in the balcony just waiting for the show to start. And Rico Suave, he's, trying to hit on them and just, being real pushy and whatnot. And Jessica was like, no, leave us alone. We good. Because he was really pushing hard on Nicole. And so, Jessica was like, Crown, you need to like tell your boys to chill out, because they're doing too much. He was like, nah, we good, whatever. So right before that, Jessica offers Nicole a drink, and she declined it. And so we see Crown. There's Jessica and Nicole. They're sitting on a couch. So Crown, he is lacing his blunt with coke or crack or something that don't need to be up in there. And so, he said, we could be feeling real good tonight. And, he offers it to Jessica. She was like, nah, I'm good. And so he offers it to Nicole. And Jessica was like, do what you want, because she kind of looked at her for like permission or something. And she's like, whatever, let me just go ahead and do it. And you can tell, like, she had that, like, Mel from Snowfall, like, first hit. It was just, like, pupils dilated, like, you could tell, like, it really affected her. She was feeling like she was in a whole nother world. And it really confused me in terms of Jessica, because she protected Nicole from, being harassed by this guy. She offered her a drink. Of course, Nicole declined. And then she sees Crown, offering her, and I know Jessica saw Crown lace the blunt. But I'm not necessarily sure if Nicole saw it, because of course Jessica is between Crown and Nicole. It's a lot going on, music, people. So I'm not sure if Nicole peeped that the blunt was laced or not, but it's kind of pretty much too late. But I was just confused that, Nicole not necessarily, I'm sorry, Jessica not necessarily stopping Crown, but she did offer her a drink. So, it's some inconsistencies going on. I'm like, is the writers trying to show us like Jessica, is inconsistent when it comes to certain things? Because she was telling Nicole, we're all family, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, if it was your brother, you would not let your brother smoke no lays blunt. Like, you with him all the time in the studio. I'm sure you are looking after him. But it's like, dang, like, show Nicole the same courtesy. But at the same time, Nicole, she's a teenager, so she has her own mind. But yeah, it was real disappointing to see that Nicole did not protect her at that point. But hey, it's what happens. You know what I'm saying? It's frustrating, but hey, what can you do? So Scrappy and Unique's boy, they pull up to the situation. They getting out the car and they realize, hey, we strapped. Like, they checking people at the door. So they figure out a way to go through the back door to be able to sneak in. So it's time for the performance. And of course, now Famous got bubble guts. And I'm like, Lord. So Juke peeps it. And, she gets the crowd all revved up. And Marvin's like, that's my kid. That's my kid. I'm like, Marvin, boy, sit your behind down somewhere. So, Famous gets comfortable. They start singing the song. It's a real good song, like real good hook. But not until the second time I watched it, I got my closed caption on. I'm like, oh, the lyrics, this is what Kanan's been doing. Like, what's going on? So he's pretty much rapping about Kanan's life. He's talking about Buck 20. It's a lot going on. He's talking about the stash house being robbed. He talking about, just Kanan's life. And Kanan kind of peeps, like, at first he was like, all right, it's my boy. And he started listening to the lyrics. He was like, oh. And so him and Famous kind of makes eye contact, and Famous kind of had this guilty look like, sorry, bro, you were my inspiration. I got to act hard. And so 50 starts narrating, just saying, hey, this is what rap dudes do. They kind of fake the funk. And I don't know why. Every time he starts talking about rappers, I always think about his digs on Ja Rule for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, so Kanan is not pleased. So I definitely know it's going to be a situation about that. So everybody's jamming. We see the uncles. They're feeling it. Nicole, they feeling it. Everybody is just having a good time. So we see Scrappy and Unique's boy, they kind of pull up a little behind Lulu. So Lulu kind of peeps, game like, oh, what's going on? So Scrappy kind of signals to Lulu like he did like something like to his nose and kind of wipes it. So Lulu was like, oh, it's on. So he creates a distraction and starts a fight. Of course, everybody starts fighting. So of course, and with everybody moving around, old boy and Scrappy, they can't get a good shot at him. So of course, everybody starts leaving. And Scrappy and the boy, they pretty much left, through the side door or whatever. And he pulls the gun out of Scrappy. Was like, I know we couldn't trust you. I knew it. We knew we couldn't trust you. Like we knew you couldn't kill Lulu. I was born last night, not at night. Well, the other way around, y'all. It's time for me to go to bed, Lord Jesus. So, Lulu's thing was a success, but at the same time, it kind of ended in haywire. So I don't really feel like it's going to affect the business too much. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting ride with this record company situation. So we see Marvin pull up to some dudes we haven't seen before. He was like, y'all ready to put in out work? And they was like, yeah, we ready. You know what I'm saying? They was like, what we doing? And they was like, corners. He was like, nah, highways. So he pretty much taking Kanan's idea, of course, is going to blow up eventually. Everything Marvin does blows up. And so we now see Omar Epps. He's looking at Kanan's Polaroid of his mugshot. You can tell he's all pondering, just sitting there like he in the 90s R&B music video with his little Kango hat or whatever. And so we see Rock. She's on her couch looking all regal and cute and whatnot. Her little silk pajamas, a little updo, all cute. She's probably waiting up for Kanan. And Kanan goes to Davina's house. It was like, I was just thinking about you at the showcase. And so she invites him in. I'm like, you was thinking about her at the showcase? Oh, when, they was talking about killing, Buck 20 on the rap song. That didn't fit for me, y'all. I don't know. But they end up having sex. I'm like, oh, okay. And then we see Famous in the bathroom. He's, getting some sexual favors happen to him in the bathroom. We see Lulu and Jessica. They're getting it on in the limo. So everybody's just, getting it on. But I do feel like with Famous and Kanan now kind of losing their virginities, it's kind of showing their loss of innocence, because Jukebox lost hers. So all of them are pretty much kind of, for lack of a better word, broken in. So I think that's the writer's way of showing, hey, they're not kids anymore. They're making adult decisions, and anything that happens after this point is all fair game. Because I feel like that's part of the reason why Lulu had D-Wiz lose his virginity, in a sense, because I probably made him feel like, hey, he's not a kid anymore. I'm not really killing a kid. So we see Kanan, he's sneaking back in the house because it's probably late. And, he sees his mom sleeping. I didn't realize their rooms were next to each other. Like, that's kind of awkward. Like, how was that happening? When she was getting on with Symphony a few episodes ago and thought Kanan was in school. Like, I'm confused. But they hear, some screeching and some little shots or whatever. And, somebody yells out, here goes your boy, whatever. So Rock, she kind of gets the gun, and her and Kanan starts going to the door. And I'm like, you run into the door? Like, are we supposed to be doing that? I'm thinking I'm going to stop, drop, and roll. Like, I ain't running to no door. But they open the door and they see Scrappy in his little tidy whities. And I'm not sure if he's dead, y'all. I don't think he's dead. I just think he's severely bruised. If he isn't dead, I feel like it's going to be a slow recovery, or he may die, from the injuries. But yeah, he was moving too much. And I feel like it's not necessarily an actor's error, because I felt like, well, if if the producers didn't catch that, that's on them. But it was some close-ups being done. So I feel like they would have caught that and made him reshoot the scene if they noticed he, was moving, if he was supposed to be dead. So I don't think he's dead, y'all. So Kanan is looking all, just shooken up. And I'm like, hold up. You had a dude, blood all up on you at the stash house. You killed Buck 20. Like, why are you so surprised by death? But I was also thinking like, hey, maybe he's not necessarily surprised by death. He's realizing like, no, Scrappy was down. Like, he was for us. And the fact that Scrappy was for us, that means he wasn't a snitch. Therefore, Davina is the snitch, and he just got the cookies from Davina. So this is going to tie in very nicely, I'm sure, in future episodes. But yeah, I'm sorry for this long review. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you next episode. Bye.